Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Catherine Haleko with the flu, if you can hear. Getting better, but. And I'm here with Terri Morrow.
Hello. You're such an intrepid podcaster, rising from your sickbed to talk about...
If this would have been 2 days ago, no, it wouldn't have worked.
Well, I'm glad we've waited your flu out.
Yes. So usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues. But once a week, Terri and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics. Because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change.
Yes.
So this week we have 2 episodes of One Day at a Time to discuss.
Yep.
And a classic mystery for our challenge round. But first, we thought I should tell you about seeing the movie Black Panther.
Yeah.
Because this is a pretty big movie, getting some attention.
Yes, it seems to
I
be the movie of the moment.
Yes, I saw it in the theater like the night before it came out.
Wow.
It was a big event and it was a lot of fun. And I saw it with my whole family and we all really, really liked it.
Nice.
It is so well done. I'm not a big superhero person. I don't read comic books. I'm not, it's not my genre really, but, I did see Wonder Woman and I liked it, and I saw this and I liked it. Mm-hmm. I think because a couple of reasons. One is the design of it is amazing. Mm-hmm. This sort of, the way they portray Wakanda, which is the African nation where Black Panther lives, and he's the king of this little country that has basically isolated itself from the entire world in order to live happily. Basically, it's untouched by colonialism and all the other evils that have been visited upon that continent. It has basically kept itself shut away to avoid all that. And, the movie is asking big questions about, whether that's the ethical thing to do. So there's a lot of that to it. There's, excellent action. But going back for a minute to the design, just the look of this whole country and then all of the costumes and the sets, just the production design is absolutely amazing. That was the biggest probably thing I took away from it. And then, of course, there are all these great female characters. That you have all these very strong women that are strong and interesting in different ways. Angela Bassett plays Black Panther's mother, and she's, very quietly determined. And then Lupita Nyong'o plays a spy, and she's just wonderful and kind of badass. And then his teenage sister, Black Panther's sister, played by Letitia Wright, who's like this science prodigy. Yeah. And she's like in her lab making all these cool weapons and defense systems and things. And she's also like there to kind of, he's her big brother. Like she will flip him off if he's making her mad. So, and then there's this whole army of female warriors led by Dana Guerrera. And her especially, I just couldn't take my eyes off of her whenever she was on the screen because she was just so amazing. So all those things put together, it was really, really fun to watch. Really well done.
Nice. It's fun when you see something that's like an entire package full of things that you like. And you can enjoy it with your family. Yeah. And they enjoy it also.
Yeah, it definitely had some violence, obviously.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too gory. And there was a car chase, and there was Martin Freeman playing this, sort of schlubby, CIA agent who has to kind of step up and do some stuff, and he does, but he's he's kind of the comic relief, actually. But he's really good at what he does too.
And Michael B. Jordan is the bad guy?
Yes, he is. And Sterling K. Brown's in it.
What is he play? Who is he in it? I'd heard he was in it, but I hadn't heard much comment about it.
Yeah, the movie starts with a flashback, and he is a character in that flashback. And it's a little you have to find out later, like, kind of who everyone is that's in the flashback. So it's a small part, but it's important. So
yeah.
But yeah, and you know, I mean, Michael B. Jordan is the bad guy, but he also he kind of makes some points that are that you kind of be like, well, yeah, you know, he's not wrong, you know, even though he's like covered with scarification and he's got all these like dots, like, you know, raised scars all over him, and each one represents a kill. And there's like hundreds all over him, so you can't feel like you can't sympathize with him. And he comes in and, you know, takes on the Black Panther, and so you definitely don't want to. You feel like you're on his side.
Yeah,
but it's more complicated than that. So that's always nice when it's not, you know, so simple.
Yeah, it's good to have a little complexity in things, just not be.
Yes.
So, well, how exciting to like see something that's the big movie of the moment right when it comes out, and
I know
be able to have an opinion about it. Instead of, you know, a year and a half later on Netflix, which is, if I watch anything, pretty much when I catch it.
I know. That is quite typical. My normal viewing, but this time it worked out. So,
well, excellent. Well, thanks for sharing that. Up to the minute. Well, it's actually by the time we get it on the podcast, it's no longer up to the minute. But it was up to the minute when you saw it.
Yes, but even the second weekend after it came out, I believe
it's doing quite well.
It was high up at the box office. So
cool.
Yes. So, recommend.
We're speaking out to that second or third wave of viewers who are finally getting to the theaters to see it.
That's right. Yeah, so that's Black Panther.
Excellent.
And now I think we'll talk about One Day at a Time. We watched two more episodes of that show from season 1. We watched the episode called Strays, which took on immigration. And then the second one was The Death of Mrs. Resnick, which kind of the big issue of the day, I guess, was kind of post-traumatic stress and veterans issues.
Yeah.
So
I get the feeling with some of these, and this is, I think, something that Alan Sepinwall said about an episode in the second season that it was about guns, is that it seems like you get about halfway through and then somebody realized, oh, shoot, we need an issue for this one. Because it's, you know, it's, that episode was about immigration, but it was about immigration about halfway through.
Yeah.
And the post-traumatic stress stuff kind of was sort of later in the episode.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, the immigration thing, when you put the one particular viewpoint in the mouth of the doofus from The Office, it's sort of like, so on the one hand we have our lead, and the other hand we have the guy we've pretty much hated throughout.
It's not really a fair fight.
Fair fight? I don't know. You know, it's, I'm a gray area person, so I find all issues to be complex, and we are right now not in a gray area world. We are in a, you either, you know, agree with me or you're a horrible human being. So these arguments seem to me to be kind of boiled down to the one that everybody agrees with and then that other one that stupid people think. So, I don't know. I wish they would not feel a need to shoehorn one into every episode. And if they're gonna put one in every episode, I wish they would develop it a little more interestingly. So because of that, I think I preferred the second episode to the first one. But there were, you know, much of the first episode really had nothing to do with that. So, and I think they also could have made that issue by the situation with Carmen's parents without having the dinner table lecture establishing it. Although I guess that's why the daughter felt that she could mention it. But
yeah. I mean, as you said, that part felt.
I like my sitcoms more commie than sit, I guess. But you know, but still, again, as we've said before, it's fine. It's good.
Yes.
It's enjoyable. I like the people. I'm excited because after many weeks of thinking about this and wondering if it would work, I repurposed my son's old iMac, which he has not used in months or possibly years. It actually still turns on. I think he had maybe forgotten a password for it, and so he thought it was broken, but it still works. And I moved it over by the TV, and I can control it from my computer, and I can watch Netflix on it. It's one of those iMacs with like the big rectangular screens, so it looks like a TV. So now I no longer have to squint at my laptop to watch stuff on Netflix or Amazon Prime. So I was watching it like a regular sitcom on a TV set instead of on my phone or on an iPad or a laptop. So my friends were over and we all three watched it together, and there were laughs from amongst all of us. Not constant guffaws, but occasional appreciative giggles. I didn't ask them later what they had thought of it, but they didn't seem to mind watching both episodes. So, continues to be fine. What did you think?
I mean, similar to you, it's certainly not subtle.
No, but again, true to the original.
Right.
Probably not my favorite part of the original, but, you can't begrudge it that.
Mm-mm. And, it's not subtle, but on the other hand, it also gets me, to where I'm like tearing up when poor Carmen has to leave and move to Texas.
Yeah.
Or when Penelope is kind of having her big confessional moment at the car dealership. So it doesn't take much for me to start breaking down with them.
Yeah.
So,
and I will say that, I thought it was an interesting twist when the car salesman was a woman, but I expected it then to be, I didn't expect it to go in the direction it did. And I really liked that. When she was a veteran also, that was an interesting turn. And I liked the way they went from there. Instead of it just being, she's going to be in trouble now because all her ploys aren't going to work.
Right.
So it was good. And I also, in the immigration thing, they did briefly have the grandmother character saying, I played by the rules when I came here. Other people should play by the rules, which is an argument I've heard people make. And that got the daughter just said, no, that's not right. And we moved on. Would have been interested to have it, between those two characters, although the religion one was between those two characters, and it was also very simplistic. So, and heavily weighted on one side, which I'm sure that all the people involved feel is the right side. So why do we want to give any respect to the wrong side? But I don't know. Well, it used to be that was kind of what you did,
Right.
Well,
going back to...
Maybe not, because I don't think on the original One Day at a Time, I think, Anne Romano was just swatting down anybody who disagreed with her things, too.
Right.
So, it's not a gray area world that we live in now, and I have to just...
You have to adjust.
Just have to respect the arguments I'm hearing.
Right.
Yeah. But, so I will look forward to watching more episodes on my makeshift TV now.
Yeah, and now that you've done that, I'm having the opposite problem where my iPad 1.0 that I have been using on the treadmill suddenly decided that it doesn't like Netflix anymore.
Aww,
or that it doesn't get along with Netflix.
Really?
So.
Oh, does it need to be updated to an operating system that it can't handle?
Probably.
And that's why
I've long
Netflix
ago
upgraded
stopped
too?
updating that iPad because you can't. It's...
That's a sad moment when technology passes your old device by. You can milk them for a while. You can, when the updates stop coming, stuff still works, and then all the apps upgrade, and it's useless.
And I've been so lucky
sad.
for so long that Netflix worked on this ancient iPad.
Yeah.
So it was perfect, size for the treadmill, and but alas.
Oh, well, do you have an old phone that you can purpose for that?
No,
or
I just have to use my regular phone, so that's all right. I'll survive.
All right.
I'll survive.
But I'll be doing it on the big screen,
and I
baby.
did before.
I'm very excited.
The iPad decided to die. I did get to watch the episode of The West Wing that we thought we would be discussing today, which was called The California 47th. But then, as it turned out, the West Wing Weekly podcast did a Big Block of Cheese Day live episode. And in which they really did not discuss that show. So we are going to kind of just bypass that today.
Yes, but we will get to it next week. So
we will.
If you were all prompt and watched it like Catherine, you will still get a chance to discuss it. And if you put it off like me, you are rewarded.
Exactly.
Rewarded for sloth and procrastination. Excellent.
Sometimes it's good for you. So instead, we are going to move into our challenge round.
Yeah.
This was Terri's turn to challenge me, and she chose the book A is for Alibi by Sue Grafton.
Right. I've read a number of these over the years. I don't think I've read the entire alphabet as far as she got with it, but I've read a number of them, so I'm familiar with the character. And when Sue Grafton passed away a little while ago, I asked you if you had read any, and you had not. So I don't even know if you are a mystery reader. Are you a mystery fan?
Not especially, no. I tend not to read mysteries or thriller type.
Because if you
type
were,
books.
you probably would have read some of these.
Yes, yes.
Although my husband likes mysteries and he hasn't read any, so. But it was really fun revisiting it, and something I appreciated about it a lot this time that I maybe didn't the first time I read it is it takes place like in my old neighborhood. It's so fun. She calls it Santa Teresa, but it's Santa Barbara. She uses the same street names. She doesn't change the street names. She doesn't change the layout. She talks about State Street when it takes its curve and all these different, so it's like, and Montebello is Montecito, and then a few times she mentions my hometown of Thousand Oaks where I grew up. And at one point she's driving down from Kinsey Millhone, the detective character, is driving down from Santa Barbara, and she mentions going over the big hill into Thousand Oaks, which is the Caneo Grade, which I drove for so long. It was really, I know. I used to live in Sherman Oaks, where one character's parents live, and so it was like old home week for me.
Yeah.
So I was probably living there when I read it the first time, so I don't know if it made as much of an impression, but that was fun.
That's always, I think that's fun in a book.
She stopped for breakfast in Thousand Oaks. I wonder if she went to Dupar's.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm not much of a mystery reader. And I think in this one, it did kind of show that it was her first outing. I mean, there were some parts where I thought, okay, we could use a little bit of editing here. Like, we don't need to know exactly what she ordered at McDonald's or what time she went to bed or whatever. But I liked that it was such a character study of Kinsey. You know, it was, you know, the story of the case that she was working on was almost secondary to just getting to know her, which I thought was kind of fun. Was
very good for an introduction, and she's a very good character. I've really enjoyed following her through the various books. And at one point, I believe she talks about trimming her hair with a nail scissors, something that I have possibly thought was a good idea. Taken up as my own personal grooming habit. But she's a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's a great character.
In a very no-nonsense way. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see why she became so popular and, went on to star in 24 more books because she made it, Sue Grafton made it all the way to, she made it to the letter Y before she passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is sad. Someday, they're saying no now, someday someone will write Z. I feel certain. Whether they do it maybe as a way to raise money for a cause or something, some friendly person will. But not anytime soon. So so I haven't read a mystery for a while, and it was fun. And even though I found it to be a little predictable, I mean, I pretty much figured stuff out before she did, which is not what you want to do in a detective novel. I kind of didn't mind because the character is so good, and the way things unfolded was really interesting, and it was fun. I mean, I was copy editing it as I went, but I can't do that.
I had to wonder how people were so willing to just chat with her and give her information. I think that was partly a product. I mean, partly it was necessary for the book to proceed, but it also seemed like a sign of the times, you know, that people are just more sort of suspicious these days, and they are not going to be just, oh, you're a total stranger who's asking about someone who got killed 8 years ago? Sure, I'll tell you everything I know.
That's right. And also, speaking of signs of the times, I was constantly amused by the memory of a time when you didn't have a phone with you. And people had to leave messages for you at various different places where you were, and you couldn't just immediately call somebody, when you're...
And you had an answering service.
Yeah, gosh. All those are businesses that... I mean, I guess there are still answering services, but, so many times, if you could have just called somebody, it would have been really helpful.
Yeah.
But all the different machinations of figuring out where to leave phone calls and messages for people. That is a whole world that no longer exists.
Nope.
Making it easier for detectives, I guess.
I'm sure as the series progressed, Kinsey's technology was upgraded, right?
I really don't remember. One would assume. But I guess this book was 82, was it? Let me look. I actually have a copy of it.
And I think the copy I got from the library was vintage. It felt...
Yeah, mine too.
It was like one of those little paperbacks that, the mass market, like small paperbacks, and I'm really surprised that it has lasted this long in the library circulation.
Mine is all yellowed and the binding is broken, and it looks like it might have been a paperback that they put a cover on it. It was like I did, we were talking about that would I be cheap and actually haul my butt to the library and renew my library card so I could get it there, or would I just go ahead and buy it online and have it downloaded to my phone? I did finally get myself to the library. And I renewed my card, and I go to look for it in the shelf, and it's this mangy little copy. And I'm like, do I have to check that out? I'm not sure I want to touch that. But
yep, that sounds like the one I got.
It was nice reading a hard copy. I did point out when I checked it out that the binding was broken because I didn't want to get tagged for that. But it was fine, and it was fun reading an actual physical book. And, being able to mark off. And I like books with short chapters. It was good. The pace of it was good. I could keep propelling myself because there's only another 3 or 4 pages.
And a very quick read for sure.
That's fun. So I feel like reading more of them now. Now that I have my library, just start
and get more.
I can download them onto my phone from the library. I can go to the library and check it out. I have so many options.
There you go. Well, good. So that was A is for Alibi by Sue Grafton. Thank you for... That's another hole in my pop culture life that you have filled.
Next time you have to be on an airplane, you get yourself 3 or 4 of these, and you're good to go.
Bust right through them. Very good.
Absolutely.
So for next week, we are going to skip the challenge round because it is the Oscars next Sunday.
Yes, it is.
So we will watch those and discuss.
Speaking of nuanced takes on issues. Looking forward to a healthy debate.
Your favorite. So we'll talk about that next week. We will also discuss that West Wing episode, California 47.
Yes. Is it quite as buffoony as I remember it being?
Buffoony.
Not Toby and Charlie's Finest Hour, as I recall.
No, that's true.
It just seemed like if we'll get to it next week. I remember it as being kind of the Keystone Cops come to California to help Sam.
Yeah, to quote unquote help Sam, because it's not very helpful. Yes. So
with that kind of help.
Right.
They really want him to take that senior position that they had established before.
So that's California 47th from the West Wing. And then for One Day at a Time, the episodes are called Hold Please and One Lie at a Time.
All right.
And that's going to be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes, including our daily speed rounds and weekly group chats. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Bye, Terri.
Bye, Catherine.
Goodbye, everyone.